Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. See if I can get this to focus better. There we go. Yay. So, we've been talking about weather in class, right? Good job. Glad y'all remembered. And there are several things we've been talking about with that weather, right? Anybody remember some of those? Okay, I heard a couple. I think I heard precipitation, which is part of that water cycle, right? Did I hear somebody say clouds? Good job. I heard clouds. Good job. Good job. And then I heard, oh, yeah, we talked about that wind. Remember those two experiments we did with the soil and the water, and then the air, the blue and red water? Good job. Good job. And then temperature. Good job. Air temperature. Good. What are a couple others? There's two more. These are a little harder. We've got humidity, and then we have air pressure. I remember talking about those instruments that measure those two things? Good job. Okay, so what is weather? Let's think about this. Weather. I know rain is weather, right? We got cold weather, and we got warm weather in the summertime. We got hot weather. But what does that mean? Where does that come from? Let's see. It's down here where I can feel it, right? Okay. And when I'm looking at a map, Miss Hahn showed me some maps, and they moved from over by California over to the coast over there, over by, Florida and New York and all that. Yeah. Okay. So, now that I got your brain working, weather is the condition of the atmosphere near Earth's surface that moves from west to east. Okay? There's another word in here, though, that we hadn't talked about. The atmosphere. Anybody know what the atmosphere is? It's that layer of air surrounding Earth. Now, next year, you're going to learn that even this has some dimension to it. It's pretty cool. I like it. So, how do we remember this west to east? That's right. We got that WE at the beginning of weather. So weather is going to move in a west to east movement. Okay? Everybody knows what air temperature is, right? Yeah. It's when we take a thermometer outside and we say, oh, it's 89 degrees. This morning when I got up, it was 66 degrees, so it was kind of chilly. So at recess, it's supposed to be a little bit warmer. So we all know what air temperature is, right? We're going to use, what kind of tool do we use to take temperature? Good job. We use a thermometer. We've been using a thermometer a lot this year, huh? Yep. So I'm hoping that we're learning how to read a thermometer. We're looking for the top of that red line or that gray line, and then we're figuring out what number it's closest to, right? Good job. Okay. So then we have precipitation. Precipitation, a part of the water cycle. High five to whoever said that out loud. And precipitation is any form of water. that falls to Earth's surface. Now, that's any form. So, that means solid or liquid, right? Good job. So the types of precipitation we have are drizzle, and then we have rain, of course, and then we have snow, hail, and sleet. Okay, so that's 5 types. How cool is that? Did you know that? And drizzle is tiny liquid. Tiny liquid. And then this is large liquid. Drops. And then we have snow, which is a 6-sided ice crystal. Oops. Then we have hail, which is a large chunk of ice. And sleet is a small chunk of ice. And I spelled that wrong. There's no C. So hail is a large one, sleet is a small one, right? You remember in the news, I don't know, 6 or 7 months ago, they had baseball-sized hails. That's a big piece of ice, right, falling from the sky. Imagine if that hit you. How would that feel? Probably hurt, huh? So, remember, these are liquids and solids, okay? Tiny liquid, large liquid. Snow, if it's a 6-sided ice crystal, that's going to be a solid. Good job. And then our ice here. And this is measured. Anybody remember what it's measured with? A rain gauge. Good job. Remember what that looks like? Kind of looks like a graduated cylinder, huh? Yeah, it's pretty cool, I think. Okay. Then we have our clouds. Anybody remember what clouds are? Are clouds a liquid or a solid? When people go through clouds, what does that mean? Do they get wet when they go through clouds? Yes, they do. Remember when you're walking through fog in the morning and you're getting wet? That's because clouds are a liquid. Okay, so this is water vapor. That condenses. And changes into tiny, even more tiny than the drizzle and more tiny than the drizzle, tiny water droplets. Because they're not falling to the sky yet, right? If they're still in the air, in the clouds, then they're not precipitation yet. Okay? And then the different types of clouds. Y'all remember what clouds will tell us? The different types of clouds will tell us the type of weather coming, right? Different types of clouds. So, a meteorologist can look in the sky and say, we might have some rain. I see those cumulonimbus clouds coming. Okay, so we have clouds, right? Okay. Then we have wind. Let's talk about wind for a second. Then we have wind. So wind, remember that's the movement of air particles. We talked about it with the red and the blue water, and then we talked about it with the experiment with the dirt and the water. Remember we took those measurements of that dirt and water, that temperature? Good job. And you learned that land heats up faster and it cools down faster. That's how our particles change temperature. So wind is how quickly air particles, or molecules, right, are moving in the air. Remember that? Okay, anybody remember what those are measured with? Looked at them today in class. Anybody remember that? Good. They are measured with a wind vane, which tells us what? Wind direction. Good job. And an anemometer. I want to make sure I spell this right. And that measures wind speed. How fast that thing's spinning, remember? Okay. So far we've talked about air temperature, which is taken with the thermometer. We've talked about precipitation, which is any form of water, and then that's measured with a rain gauge. And then we have clouds. Oh, and another thing that they look at is cloud coverage. So cloud coverage, this is the number of clouds in the sky. So, last two things. We have air pressure and humidity. Okay? So, air pressure. So you remember the implosion with the can where I stuck it made it hot, and then I stuck it in water and it went, remember that? And it made this loud noise. Okay? That had to do with air pressure. Okay? And air pressure is the amount of air pressing it's pressing on everything around it. So right now you have air pressing down on you. Can you feel it? No, not really, because it's so light. Remember, those particles are moving really, really fast. And you can't feel it unless it's wind, okay? And then we've got, it's heating and cooling so fast that we're feeling that, right? Good job. Air pressure is then measured with a barometer. Good job. Okay? Okay. And then, last but not least, we have humidity. Humidity. Okay? In Houston, we have a very humid climate. Very humid weather. Okay? And what humidity is the amount of water vapor in the air. Now, if you have curly hair, you don't like humidity, especially after you straighten it. Because after you straighten it and then you go outside and it's really, really humid, all that straightening was a waste of time because it just makes your hair curly again. Okay? And then, what is humidity measured with? Good job. It is measured with a hygrometer. Okay? Y'all remember that word? Y'all remember when you were looking at the tools today that are, whenever you're watching this, the other day, that hygrometer and the barometer is that circle pattern. And remember, humidity is a percentage, okay? It's got to be out of 100%, okay? Houston, a lot of the times, is 90%, in the 90s, high 80s, okay? But then if you go to Arizona, there's not a lot of humidity in Arizona because it's a lot of desert. There's not a lot of rain, right? So the humidity there is going to be very, very low, very little. So, the elements of weather, not the elements, rather, what affects weather, okay? We have precipitation, we have clouds and the cloud coverage, and then we have humidity, air pressure, wind, and then we have air temperature. I'm sorry. Oh, one of the things I forgot to tell you about air pressure. If we have high air pressure means clear, good weather. Then if we have low air pressure, that means we're going to have stormy, bad weather. Okay? So, make sure you get all that written down. And if you have any questions, please put it on the end of the video and let me know. And I will see you lovely people tomorrow. Have a great night.